Hey, the incredible shrinking Bud Man with a pitch for you not to give up on your struggles to lose the weight you need to lose for your appearance, for your health, and for your life. Don't give up. If you've been frustrated with your inability to lose weight and keep it off, what I want you to do is seek the answer I found through the Medifast Weight Control Program at your Medifast Center with the Medifast counselors working with you all the way in this great, delicious program. I was never hungry, and the weight came flying off. This is such a healthy program, Medifast. It was developed by doctors. It's been recommended by more than 20,000 physicians, including mine, since 1980. And I got on it, and all of a sudden, I was down 11.5 pounds in the first 2 weeks, 75 pounds in 6 months. What a life changer. You can do this, but you got to get started. You can lose at your Medifast Center up to 2 to 5 pounds a week, up to 2 to 5 pounds a week. I think you're going to be amazed. So many folks thank me for putting them on to the Medifast Weight Control Program. Get started, and please tell them the Bud Man sent you when you call your Medifast Center at 1-888-9-MEDIFAST, 1-888-9-MEDIFAST, 1-888-9-MEDIFAST. 2 new centers in Lake Mary and Winter Park. More online, MedifastFlorida.com. If I can do this, you can do it. Get started. Let's go on Open Mind Monday. Josh from Orlando. What's on your mind, Josh?
Bud, you baited the hook and it tastes good.
On Libya, what do you got?
I wanted to talk about the spinelessness of this administration to sit on their hands for weeks and actually allow the French to push for a no-fly zone and then take the lead and actually start combat operations over Libya. And it's just appalling that we can just sit back and watch the French go in first. I don't understand.
Yeah, when the French are defining military leadership, you know something is different and something is disturbing. There's no question. But let me ask you that. What is it you would have us do? Did you want us going in alone unilaterally, which I did not support, or are you comfortable with us being a part of this coalition?
But let me, having served in the service now for over 11 years, I can tell you the French Air Force is the size of one of our air bases at Luke Air Force Base in Arizona. They have 1 aircraft carrier. We have 11.
I get it, but you tell me, what do you want the United States to do here?
We're already in place to have a no-fly zone with air bases in Djibouti, Italy.
I get it, Josh. The answer to the question is what? Do you want the United States taking out Gaddafi alone? Do you want us initiating a third war? And I'm just asking. I want, because it's Open Mind Monday, I want you to answer that question.
I wanted a no-fly zone weeks ago. Gaddafi should have never been able to get a plane off the ground.
Did you want the United States to doing this alone without the UN coalition, just the U.S.?
We don't need the UN. We make up the UN.
There we go. Thank you very much. Man, I'll tell you what, you know, I can't, there's a great military man, but I couldn't get him to follow the Bud Man's orders. Then again, it is your hour of the show, and we're seconds away from an assessment by one of our listeners of Donald Trump as presidential material for the GOP. Is he the answer to making Barack Obama a one-term president? I've commented on Trump. Brandon's got the 50,000-watt front porch, and more calls will follow. Join us, 407-916-5400. Open Mind Monday, 822, updating real-time traffic and weather together on the twos. All right, we're looking at the first full day of spring for a perfect day. Sunny and 83, 64 degrees now in Orlando. All right, Brandon, as billed, you're up on Open Mind Monday talking Donald Trump. Welcome from Orlando. Good morning, Brandon.
Hey, bud. You can verify this on Political. I just wanted everyone to know that Donald Trump talks a good game, but if you follow the money, he's donated $50,000 to Rahm Emanuel alone for his mayoral bid.
He backed Emanuel in Chicago for mayor, the old chief of staff for Obama. Are you kidding?
No, and everyone can verify that on Politico.
No
and he's
kidding.
also donated to a bunch of other Democrats, too. And I want everyone to know that he talks a good game, but follow the money. I say Herman Cain for president so far. He's the best-looking candidate.
You like the voice of Herman Cain when you hear him on the radio. Substituting and talking good conservative doctrine. I like Herman Cain. Do you really think he's the answer for the Republicans in 2012?
I don't know if he's the answer, but so far I say, hey, if Chris Christie isn't running, if Ron Paul doesn't jump in the game sooner and really hit home with it, he's the one I like.
Who's the one you like?
Herman Cain.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that. Can we? I don't want to say I'm not trusting Brandon, but can you go to Politico.com, gang, and check that out? Trump donating to a bunch of Democrats, including Rahm Emanuel. I got a huge red flag flying if that's true. Holy smokes. How did the Bud Man miss that? Jonathan from Lakeland. It's Open Mind Monday. What's on your mind, Jonathan?
Hey, what's going on, Bud? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I just wanted to bring to light an issue that not a lot of people know about. There's been a couple of articles written about all the civilians over in Japan being evacuated from the bases. But what you don't hear is that there's a naval base, Atsugi, where the civilians were actually rejected from the military flights, and now they're stuck there. And I got a couple friends over there, and we're following them on Facebook, and they're all sick, and they're stuck getting no answers from the military.
When you say they're sick from radiation?
Yes, sir. And they don't have any food that they can buy from the commissary because it's all contaminated. So they're stuck with whatever they had in their houses, and they're all getting sick.
Wow. Boy, that's pretty frightening stuff. You know, all we've been hearing about over there in terms of radiation and the result of these issues with these nuclear plants is, yes, many, many times the normal background radiation, but not enough for real serious concern for human health. Appears not to be so based on what you're saying.
Right. They haven't even been able to get food because their shipment of food has been contaminated.
Yes. Yeah, you know, I tell you, Jonathan, thank you for the update on that. We'll look into it further. This is a real problem for Japan, because if the image becomes anything from Japan, food in particular, is contaminated, if that's the perception, the reality of the economic devastation that will wreak on their economy will be unbelievable. You know, I just wonder about people here who run Japanese restaurants. I'll bet you they're already feeling the impact just because people are spooked. You know, one report that, oh my goodness, radiation might hit the west coast of the United States, everybody cleaned off the shelves of iodine pills in pharmacies, even though that stuff's not good to take unless you need to take it for radiation, legitimate radiation poisoning. It had a huge impact. I mean, I just wonder if everybody decides, well, you know, I'm not going to go to that Japanese restaurant, no more sushi, whatever, for no good reason. They're in a serious world of hurt. What's on your mind on Open Mind Monday? Jeff just handed me the verification from what we were talking about a moment ago, and Donald Trump. Donald Trump has contributed $50,000 to Rahm Emanuel's now successful mayoral campaign in Chicago. I don't know. Anybody have a problem with that? Does that jibe with backing Donald Trump for the Republican nomination for president? Donald, you got some splaining to do. Here's Stephen in Orlando. Good morning, Stephen.
Morning, Bud. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. 10 years prior Air Force, and I can take orders.
Well, you're not going to get them from me. I was just having some fun with our other military man there. Where are you on Libya? I guess I'm just looking for some clear focus on this.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's such a quagmire over in the Middle East. We're involved in so many operations that aren't even talked about on a regular day-to-day basis. It's just whatever the improvised explosives that you hear on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the general public has no clue as to all the operations. We could not get involved in something else without getting some coalition forces. The problem is, though, we took too darn long to get that to happen. And, it was almost back kind of thinking back to World War II, as far as, we sat back so long till the time that we were forced to get into it. But here it's something completely different. But, what really shocked me more than anything was the fact that it's Libya, and I'm kind of scratching the back of my head because I remember when, the F-111s went ahead and did their first strike on them years and years ago.
That's when Reagan sent them in to get the mad dog of Libya, right?
Well, after that, I had a buddy of mine who was involved in that operation, and it would just kind of shock me that we were kind of still doing business with them on the side, and the French have been doing business with them for years, so obviously they have their own interests involved. But, it's just... it's everybody's playing nice up until, it's like even with Saddam, he was a bad boy in the Gulf till he decided to go rogue. We were supplying him with weapons, and after the first Gulf War, when we went in there, we found a bunch of his troops armed with our equipment, night vision goggles and everything like that. So everything's cool up until, they decide, oh, no, we're going to do our own thing.
All right, Stephen, thank you very much. I appreciate the call. 407-916-5400. You need to weigh in on Libya. You cannot possibly have gone through this weekend without having formulated an opinion as to whether we should be in this the way we are, whether we should be in it alone, whether we should not be in it at all, and what in the world is going on with the Obama team who cannot seem to define ultimately what the mission is. 407-916-5400. Any topic, an Open Mind Monday at 8:29.
Short term,